All right. Welcome back to the Honey Podcast. I'm Dani. This is Bibi, and today we have a very special guest to be buzzing over, and his name is Kyle Matthew. He is an up-and-coming actor, writer, and producer. He is starring in Uninvited and currently filming a guest star role on Disney's Bunk, and an additional role that we can't quite talk about this year. We're going to chat a little bit about some Disney Channel shows and movies that we are really enjoying, and yeah, just some funny TV shows, stuff like that. So, Bibi, what are you watching these days?
Well, recently since I got Disney Plus, I've been rewatching all the old Disney Channel shows like Hannah Montana and Lizzie McGuire and like Raven. What's the name? Raven.
Oh, That's So Raven.
I think that's the new one. That's a Raven. Yeah.
And then
Raven's House is the new one.
Okay, that's the new one. Yeah.
Yeah. And like just I've been enjoying watching old Disney shows that I used to love and no longer watch. Disney Plus has been great for me.
Right. I think that it's cool that we've been able to see so many of these shows rebooted. I know that I didn't really watch That's So Raven a lot, but that's awesome that they rebooted that one. I know that they had a Lizzie McGuire one in the works, but it didn't get pushed through because she wanted to be like her adult self, and they were like, "Now we got to keep that PG."
I think what happened with reboots is that, well, the original actors are obviously adults now,
right?
And like they don't want to keep playing like a child.
Yeah.
And like Raven's Home, it's not bad, but it's not as good as That's So Raven, like not at all. But it's not bad. And I think that like people have a trouble with it not being like That's So Raven, but like it's a different show.
Right. I think that like you're totally right. Like people definitely are looking to see the same show, but like they've matured and grown, and like not only as people themselves, but like as actors. So it's like we've got to let them have a little bit of themselves on the screen.
Yeah.
I know I'm trying to think of some other shows that were on Disney that I really loved. I know Even Stevens, wasn't that one?
I never watched that one.
Really? Oh my goodness.
No.
Now, do they have a reboot for Hannah Montana or not? They do not.
No, I don't know. I think they only did reboot for That's So Raven. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. They did for High School Musical. They did the High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Okay.
It's really good. Like I was like, I don't know, I love High School Musical growing up, and then I was like, oh, they're gonna do like a series about it, like, and
I don't know,
like the original characters are not gonna be there. I was not into it, but then I watched it and I love it. It's a really good series.
So you're totally pleasantly surprised by that one. And that is also on Disney Plus?
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
See, I feel like with Disney, I was like way more of a original movie type girl. And like, even now as an adult, like I've gone back and watched Smart House like a million times. I don't know if you've seen that one. Double Teamed, that was another good one. I'm old, so like all these that I'm saying, you're probably like, what is she talking about? But yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to think of other ones that I watched recently, but Disney Plus is just a beautiful streaming service, and I watch Home Alone like on a loop all the time.
It has a lot of things. Like for some reason when I like heard about it, I only like figured that it would have like certain amount of movies, but it has a lot of things in it. There's a lot, like I think the thing that made me happy was the Marvel movies. It has everything, and I love Marvel, so I've been just watching all day. Yeah, binging all the Marvel movies. Yeah.
See, I honestly am about to say something completely appalling, but I never really got into the Marvel movies. It was just not my like thing, but honestly, like I've never given them a solid chance. So maybe it's time for me to like go and revisit them.
I guess because like I've watched Iron Man and like Thor, and I never really like them. But then I watched the Avengers movie, the first one, and I fell in love with the Avengers. And then I just started watching every
You had
Marvel
to do
movie, and
it.
now I'm obsessed. And that like I know the lines, yeah. So like I'm obsessed with Marvel.
Aren't they like super emotional?
Oh well, yeah.
See,
I feel like
like
I feel like mainly the last two are very, very emotional. I got out of like on Avengers Infinity War, I watched it on the movies and I just sat there crying for another 10 minutes because like it's so and then on Endgame I also cried a lot. But yeah, they're I feel like definitely Endgame and Infinity War are super emotional. And WandaVision, like this new series that they're doing, it's really good, but some of the episodes are very emotional. I
yeah.
cried the whole episode, but it's really good.
See,
I think you should give it a chance.
But I'm such a big baby, and like I've said on a previous podcast, I love to cry. And I like, oh my gosh, like I cry at everything, like every single movie I think
I
sad.
love to cry too. Yeah,
So like I'm totally nervous, but I know I need to watch them, check them out.
you need to watch
Oh
them.
my gosh.
I'm a baby. Like I cry
Oh, me
in
too.
everything. Like it could be a funny movie, and you'll
Hmm.
find me crying.
Hmm.
Like I cry in the Harry Potter movies. In every single one of them, I cry. I just
I know.
I'm
So
crying.
two different situations where I've like just been so ridiculous with crying, and movies. Um, so my sisters and I, before they all went and got married, we used to go on Valentine's Day to like see the most ridiculous like romantic comedy that was out. And I remember this one specific time we went to see Dear John, and like the movie just started, like it just started, and I was like sobbing, and my little sister like elbowed me and she was like, are you crying? I was like, yes, leave me alone. Like, and it was just the opening credits. Like, I'm so ridiculous. It's so bad. And
No,
then
I feel you. I cry a lot. I cry in everything. The movie could be starting and I'm already
yep,
crying.
yep.
Like
And then the second time was with 13 Reasons Why. I won't say any spoilers or anything, but it was the last season and the episode just started. Like literally it was the opening opening credits, and I was sobbing and my roommate was like, "Dude, nothing even happened yet." It's just the
that's
thought.
me with like Marvel has this intro that's in every movie and it has like the Marvel theme song. And I will just cry with it. Like
Right.
nothing has happened. It's literally the intro and I will cry because I love Marvel.
I you do not have to preach to me. I totally get it. And like if I watch these movies, we're gonna have to revisit this, and I'm gonna probably be the same way. I'm gonna be like, oh God, I cried at the opening credits again.
Yeah, no,
It's
but
so
you
bad.
definitely have to watch them. The Marvel movies are great.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like they're one of those movies that you really have a good time um seeing in the theaters too, just because they're
Yeah.
so like action packed and everything. So yeah, I don't know where um about you, but I we just recently had the movie theaters open back up, of course with restrictions and stuff. So I was able to see like a movie recently. So that was exciting. Because there's just like nothing as great as seeing a movie in the theaters, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just differently. It hits differently,
It
like watching
really
it
did.
in
It
the
really
yeah.
does.
I watched the Endgame, Avengers Endgame on the theater like the day it released.
Oh my
And it was
gosh.
so fun because like everyone was like a fan of Marvel. So we were all like
Yeah.
screaming and shouting and just
Yes.
it was awesome. I had such a and I was like with a bunch of friends there. So I had so much fun watching
Oh my
Endgame
gosh.
like the very first. It was awesome. And then we were all
Right.
crying and yeah.
Right. It's just something about like being in the theaters and seeing it like that. I forget what the movie was that I saw, but it was one of those movies that was actually released on like a streaming service also on, I think it was on like Amazon Prime or something like that. But to just see it in the movie theater was so great. And it was
I
one of
think
those sad movies. It was so sad.
I've watched like certain movies, and I just think like this would have been so much great if I watched it in the movies.
Right.
Like if like at home, it just doesn't feel the same.
Right.
There's
Like you
something
said, it
about it
just
that
hits
makes it.
different.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Another show that I've been watching recently on Disney Plus is Jessie. I actually started watching it kind of as a joke, all that memes of Debbie Ryan, like I started watching like a lot of Debbie Ryan stuff. I watched Radio Rebel and I watched Jessie, and yeah, and then I like finished watching Jessie, and then I started watching Bunked, which is like the kids from Jessie go to a camp, and it's really good. I had a lot of fun. I've been watching it for a while now, and this is actually a great way to introduce our guest for today. He is an actor, writer, and producer, and he's actually currently filming a guest star role for Disney's Bunked.
So yeah, thanks for joining us and welcome to the Honey Podcast, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
All right, so to get started, can you tell us about your roles and like what you played so far?
Yeah, so I'll try to tell you as much as I can without getting blacklisted in the town. So my most recent film that I just finished filming towards the end of the year, I unfortunately cannot talk about it all. But what I can say is that I got to work with a lot of really incredible people. It's a very exciting project, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it. And it definitely was a unique experience, as is all of these experiences, doing them with COVID as a player. And then most recently, I just finished filming a guest appearance on Bunked, another project where, besides that, unfortunately, I can't
tell us anything
more than that. But another really incredible experience, and the entire team at Bunked, the cast, the crew, the casting department, everyone was so amazing, couldn't have been more welcoming to me, and I really feel so grateful and so lucky to have been a part of that experience as well. And I'm very excited for everyone to see it once it airs.
The good news is we're just going to have to bring you back, because now we're going to have to talk about it again.
Hey, I'm in.
So like out of all the things you played, which one is your favorite?
That's a great question. I would say, and apologize if this is a cop-out answer, but I would say that they're all equally special in their own way. It's just so exciting to be able to, anytime you get to be on set and tell a story, and each experience is so new. And the difference between the type of stories I was telling on Bunked versus the feature film that I did towards the end of the year were kind of night and day. So the style, the pacing, the content was so different. So I haven't had a role yet that I haven't liked playing. I'm like that waiter that would tell you that they like everything on the menu and actually mean it.
And like, do you think like one of them was harder to record?
Fortunately, I would say in all the ways in which the roles were challenging, the people on both productions really took care of everyone. So there were never any challenges that were unmanageable.
That's great. That's awesome.
I can only imagine having to play a role that I would like not like. I mean, I'm not an actor in any way or sense, but I would be so upset if I had to play something I didn't like. So lucky for you that you've had some seriously good roles so far. Ones that we can't quite talk about, but we can't wait to see.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have had some comedy bits. You do a little YouTubing here and there, which I think the iPhone skit is hilarious. I laughed so hard at that. So what do you think the big differences are between filming, like stuff for YouTube versus stuff for the big screen? How do you like, what differences do you see? What do you like better, and all that stuff?
They're all great I enjoy all of them. I would say the biggest difference between the projects that I've done for YouTube have been more, I guess, the content and the creative control that I have, obviously, because I'm also on the production side of those. But I think that the thing I enjoy about all the products I'm a part of is being a part of a collaborative environment. So in a lot of ways, I try to model whatever, if I'm creating my own product, I try to model the experiences that I've had on set so that I can kind of hopefully create a really fun product the same way that I've been able to do in the other products I've done.
Right. And as far as like YouTube content, do you have any plans to give us any more of that funny stuff that you created for it?
Never say never. Never say
Okay.
never. I'm definitely always writing down ideas. And so I would say never say never.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll accept that. Yeah, we'll take that. Because we definitely would like to see more of that. And speaking of your YouTube content, how did you like come up with those ideas?
So I was at USC, I was in a sketch troupe called The Suspenders. And it was an incredible group of people, very funny, very lucky to have known them and worked with them. And those were the two sketches that I filmed were two sketches that I had written for the troupe and that we had performed live, and I had a lot of fun doing them. So I kind of was very fortunate in the sense that I got to test run those two sketches, and those are the ones that I ended up filming. And the ones that, you know, didn't get as much laughs, I was able to be like, you know,
no, I'm not gonna do that one.
Yeah, we'll just leave that for the people in the audience.
So The Suspenders, is there a story behind that name?
It's pretty, you know, the corny answer is that you're laughing so hard that your pants might fall down, and suspenders are there to keep them up. And also, just suspenders are funnier than belts. I think also that was one of the other things. I was lucky to be there the second year it had started, so I might have totally botched that name story. But I guess since I'm saying it on a podcast now, I guess that is the origin story now. It's true.
Yeah, it's
whether it's true or not.
It's recorded. It's on a podcast. It's true. We're running with it. So speaking of comedy, who would you say like inspires you the most, like with your comedy?
I love Steve Carell.
Oh my God!
I mean, yes. One of my favorite performers in general. If I could emulate a career, I think he's so great. He's so good at playing the lovable idiot, but also he's also playing really grounded characters. I always think about one of the last episodes of The Office at Dwight's wedding when Michael comes back, and it's such a absurd show in so many ways. But when Michael came back, I got emotional.
Oh yeah.
And for a character to be able to make a character like Michael Scott connect with you in such an emotional way, that is something that for a character that's so loved, even that I think is underappreciated.
Yeah.
What he was able to do with that role.
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, like The Office is hilarious.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm the first person that's ever said that. But, you know,
honestly, like we have definitely asked guests before, and one of the hosts had not watched the show before, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, what's happening? This can't be real."
I haven't watched the last.
Oh my God! I knew
I'm on like season 7. Yeah, I was late to watch
The Office.
So I know, like, I'm one of those people that like can't, like, I get emotionally attached to shows, and I of course did for The Office, and it took me probably like 3 or 4 years to watch the last episode. Like I could not watch Dwight's wedding because like I just couldn't let go of them. It was really sad.
I don't blame you.
Oh my goodness, but he is definitely an awesome actor. I can see that. I really agree with that. That's a great one too. I feel like often enough he doesn't really get brought up, I feel like, because he's like I guess he's not doing anything right now. So he just did the morning show, which I thought he was incredible. And it was really very different than the stuff that he had been doing. But he's great. He has a great range, and
if I am able to play some of the types of roles that he's been able to play, I will be very, very happy.
I think you could rock those roles. So I'm definitely hoping to see those.
We love it.
So as far as comedy, you told us your favorite person who inspires you the most. What type of comedies do you like to watch other than The Office?
So I am kind of all over the place. I actually just finished Ted Lasso last night, which was a lot of fun. It's the new show that Jason Sudeikis was in that he just won a Golden Globe for. That was a lot of fun. I loved Pen 15. I know I'm not a middle school girl, but I thought that show is brilliant. And then a classic that I always say, which is definitely, without a doubt, my dream role if they were ever to recreate it or create a character like this, which is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Ooh. Having the ability to like break the fourth wall and connect with the audience, like that would be my holy grail.
Very awesome. Love all of that. I just actually started watching Letterkenny. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's on Hulu and it is so funny. It's like one of those stupid funny series, but yeah, you guys should definitely check that out. It is hilarious and I love stupid funny. So if that's your type, you guys check that out.
All right. Noted.
So you're currently taking classes at the Groundlings. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so the Groundlings is such a fun community. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. The classes are super challenging, but they're also so fun. And the best part about it is kind of allows me to reconnect to my inner child, which, I think we often forget, especially performers, that the reason why we fell in love with this in the first place is the whole idea of playing make-believe and just creating so many things out of nothing. So I've really enjoyed that. And unfortunately, because of the pandemic, they haven't had in-person classes for about a year now, but I'm really looking forward to continuing my studies once they reopen those again.
Yeah, and well, I would love to do some acting at one day of my life, but could you give some advice to all the people out there for trying to do that and like trying to pursue that career?
Of course. I would say, and this is something that a lot of me and my people that are, coming up with me have to remember is that we have chosen this career path because we love it. And I think that it's very easy to forget that in a lot of career paths. So just really always remembering the reason why you want to do it. And that makes all the other things that you have to deal with worthwhile.
That's an awesome advice. Do you think that, well, you mentioned earlier that you haven't been able to like keep going with the Groundlings because of the pandemic. Do you think that like the industry and just in general has changed because of the pandemic?
Definitely the way in which production has to follow has changed. I mean, when I was filming for Bunked, I had to get tested 4 times in the span of 7 days. And, that safety is necessary because it's the only way to ensure that everyone on set is safe and that you're able to finish filming and then don't have to push back filming and all that stuff, because that would not be good. So I would say that pre-production and the protocols on set, I would say that those will probably stay around for a while, if not forever. There will definitely be some effect. The good thing is that there will always be a need for stories and storytelling, and people as a society will always need that to be connected with one another. So I think that aspect of just stories being told won't change as much, but maybe the protocols in which they have to follow could be different for sure.
That is crazy. 4 times in what'd you say? 4 times in 7 days?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I totally understand it because we've got to be safe about it, but it's just like it takes on every part of our lives. So it's really crazy. But I think the way you said about storytelling is so important and it won't change. That's an awesome outlook. So very cool. And hopefully sooner than later, it will go back to at least a little bit of normalcy.
Yes, please.
So you also volunteer as a Big Brother for the Jewish Big Brother Big Sister Los Angeles program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I am very lucky to be a part of the Jewish Big Brothers Big Sisters of Los Angeles. I initially got connected in that one because as an actor, no matter how much you work, you have a lot of free time. And so it's all about finding ways to manage that free time in a productive way, in a way that feels fulfilling. And for me, as someone of Jewish descent, I really wanted to find a way to kind of reconnect with my Jewish roots. And this was brought to my attention. And equally as important, selfishly speaking, I am my happiest when I'm doing something for someone else. So it kind of seemed like a perfect combination of those two desires. And lastly, I'm the baby of my family. So having the opportunity to be a big brother type figure to someone else sounded really fun to me. So I'm really grateful for the experience that I've had so far, and I highly recommend it to anyone. It's been really fulfilling and rewarding.
Awesome. So wholesome. We love wholesome people. So that's great to hear. Has it changed as well with the pandemic and everything?
Definitely. So
Yeah.
I have a Jewish little brother who I can't name his name, but he is real and he is amazing. And we have to have all of our hangout sessions virtually right now, but hopefully soon we'll be able to hang out again in person. Because it's the younger kids that have so, I mean, everyone, but I have a special amount of empathy for the younger kids that are at home and they're in homeschool and they're not able to be physical and get out and play with their friends the same way that I was able to when I was 11 and 12. And so I have a lot of respect for them that they're going through this, and it's pretty remarkable.
Absolutely. The socializing, I can't imagine, because I was a social butterfly, obviously, in school. So that must be hard for kids. I can't imagine. But the good news is that we do have things like Zoom and Hangout and FaceTime and stuff like that. So super thankful for those things, for sure. Mm-hmm. So you are also into fitness. You do a lot of different activities, different sports and things like that. What's your favorite? Why? Give us a little into about that.
I actually, basketball is my first love, even before performing. So I love playing basketball recreationally, of course. I never got to the place where I was able to dunk without a trampoline at least. And then I also love boxing. Okay. Not like getting into the ring. Like I'm one of those people where I can if I go my entire life without ever experiencing getting punched in the face, like I'm good. Like I don't have a need to like experience that. But there's this place in particular called Gloveworks. They have a couple locations in Los Angeles, and it's just the people there are amazing. And it kind of, I've always loved sports movies growing up, and there's something about putting on mitts and, you know, participate in that kind of work that just feels like you're in some type of sequence in a Rocky movie that is just very fun, kind of combines my two loves of being active and performing together.
I'm wondering.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there are people out there who want to get punched in the face, and if so,
I feel like that is kind of a manly thing maybe to want. I don't know. I'm a lover, not a fighter, you know?
That's awesome. Yeah. I used to box before the pandemic, but obviously I can't go to the gym anymore because it's still closed. But it's awesome because, yeah, you do feel like in a Rocky movie. Like, right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I need to like go to the Ralph's down the street and just like take a carton of eggs and just, you know, throw them in my mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Just totally live that full boxer life.
Yeah, I just need to get a full gray sweatsuit. That's my next purchase.
Come to the East Coast, run up those stairs.
Exactly.
You know? While we're on the topic of sports, I might start a problem here, but I did read that you're a big Cowboys fan. So I am actually a Washington's fan. So now we are arch enemies.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I have a way to solve this.
Okay.
One, So I always make the distinction that my hometown teams are the Cowboys and the Mavericks because I grew up in Dallas. But my passion teams are actually the Lakers and the Chargers. I grew up watching the Chargers my whole life, and I've been a Lakers fan ever since the third grade when my now best friend who was originally from LA, was a Lakers fan, and I wanted him to like me, so I became a Lakers fan, and then it just stuck. So I'm actually more of a Lakers and Chargers fan.
Okay.
But I still am happy when the Cowboys and the Mavs do well. I as someone who went to USC and came across a lot of UCLA people, being in the theater school, you just don't have that same instant animosity towards someone. I'm also, in addition to not wanting to get punched, I don't hate someone right away if they like a different sports team. So
yeah,
but I totally understand why if someone would feel that way about me. I can't return the animosity.
It's funny because my mom is a Cowboys fan and my dad's a Washington fan. So Thanksgiving has gotten pretty aggressive for us. Yeah. But I'm the same way. I really actually don't care too much, but I just like to talk a lot of shit. So
you got to do it.
Well, I never understand. I don't understand football at all. I've never understand how it works, how the points work. I only watch the Super Bowl, and that's it. That's all I do.
It took me a long time, honestly.
Yeah. It must be nice to have your Sundays free, because I wish I didn't. There are times where I'm like, I wish I didn't have to watch this, because this is like a sixth day of my week. It's really Saturday is the only week during football season.
That's how my roommate is actually, and she's a Philly fan, so it's just all kinds of emotions in this house. It's terrible. I'm glad when the football season's over, but now we've got basketball. So, so as far as music, we tend to do a lot of things music related with THP. So what are you listening to? What's helping you get through quarantine? What helps you get through workouts? Just give us all your music rundown.
I love music. It's crazy and probably blasphemous for me to say this, but if I had to choose between music or movies, I would probably choose music. Only because you could have a movie you could have music without a movie that works, but a movie without music, it's just not the same. I mean, sure, there are silent films back in the day, but even those had music. They just didn't have words. So I love music. I grew up with a very eclectic taste. My dad was a very big Sinatra guy. My mom was very big into Motown. So I have musical influences from all over. At the end of the day, I'm just a sucker for a good vocalist. Like Jennifer Hudson is she's my dream girl. Yeah. So
perfect.
Yeah. So I love that. And I love things that are fresh, things that are honest, but I'm also kind of basic sometimes, where if like something's a catchy tune, I'll like that too.
I'm super basic. All my music is basic, and I love that, honestly.
You just got to embrace it. There's a reason why people love it.
Exactly. There's a reason why it's basic. It's good. Yeah.
I can totally act like I am super obscure, and I do like stuff like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta love those radio hits. I mean,
like if Justin Bieber comes on, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Ariana. We talked about Ariana one episode, and you just gotta love her.
Ariana is so good.
She is also, talking about vocalists, she's also a very talented vocalist.
Yes.
Yeah, she is. She's awesome. Her newest album, I loved it. And I didn't listen to much Ariana until that album, and now I listen to a lot of Ariana. So
she is not only a good vocalist, but also extremely beautiful. And she got to date Mac Miller, so I love her.
Yeah, oh my God. I love Mac Miller.
Me too. He is a fan favorite of mine. And you did mention movies as well. Do you have a favorite movie soundtrack?
Wow, what a great question.
Thank you. I love movie soundtracks, man.
Me
Like
too.
You're
American
awesome.
Pie is a good one. Um, I'm trying to think of other ones too. That's a
My favorite is Shrek. Shrek
oh
soundtrack
my
is
god,
That is
awesome.
true.
that is such a good one, Bibi. I
Such
love
a
that.
good
But
one.
I'm gonna give an homage to my 13-year-old self and say like Mike, which there are gonna be some
Okay.
people who are gonna be like, what is that? Secondly, there are gonna be people that know what that is and be like, I'm judging you very hard. And there's gonna be that few percent of people that are gonna be like, that guy gets it. And for those people, I see you
Yes.
and I'm here for you.
What a throwback, but I respect it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go download that like
It's
immediately
mainly
after
just
this.
the basketball song with Bow Wow and Fabulous. Like that song is
Just
pure.
really hits.
It really hits.
That I couldn't have picked a better one myself.
Yeah.
Good work there.
Thank you.
So as far as like your acting and everything, do you feel like you're still spending a lot of time doing that? Or what are other ways that you can find like a release, an outlet while COVID is happening?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am very lucky that I have incredible reps. Shout out to Kim, Charlie, and Chris, and I have incredible publicists. So I'm getting a lot of really great and exciting opportunities.
Right.
So I'm able to be practicing my craft quite often. And when I'm not doing that, I'm studying at Leslie Kahn. Shout out to Leslie Kahn. And so those are kind of ways in which I'm always been very good at keeping myself busy.
Yeah.
Something that is one of my strengths.
That's an awesome positive strength to have. So good job. Not that you need to hear it from me, but we're proud of you over here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. My mom will be so happy to hear it. So proud of me.
So before we let you go, is there anything else that you can share with us that we can look forward to coming from you in the future?
Well, I'm a big manifesting person. So I can't tell you anything more, unfortunately, but
I'm really pulling it out of you. I'm trying.
that there are a lot of exciting things that are on the horizon that I either know about that I can't talk about yet, or that I do not know about yet. So I'm excited for the next time I am able to join you guys and hopefully be able to give you a little bit more of a scoop than I was able to today.
Of
Yeah,
course.
hopefully we can have you back and like hear more about the things you're working on, because we didn't hear much right now.
I know. I'm such a tease.
Thanks a lot,
Yeah, sorry, guys.
I mean, the good news is that we will have the opportunity to have you back. So once all these things drop and we are allowed to talk about them, we would love to see your face again and hear all the
Great.
great
Feeling is mutual. Feeling is mutual.
Yes. So that's it for us for today. We just wanted to say again that we are super grateful for you taking out the time, joining us, talking to us, being silly with us, but a lot of that. So yeah, thank you again, Kyle. And I'm Dani. This is Bibi, and this has been the Honey Podcast. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys again with the sweetest content. And trust us, honey, you don't want to miss the drip.